Okay, so let's jump into Judges chapter 13. It's a really pivotal moment here.
It really is. And the scene, well, it's classic Judges, isn't it? Israel is doing evil in God's eyes again.
Right. Familiar territory. And the result, 40 years under Philistine oppression. That's a long time.
A really long time. And into that wariness, we get this very personal story starting up, not with armies or anything, but a couple.
Exactly. Manoah from Zorah, tribe of Dan. And the key detail, his wife. She's barren, childless.
Yeah, and you see that set up a lot in the Bible, right? It often signals that, well, whatever happens next is purely down to God, not human plans.
Definitely. And that's exactly what we see. The story really kicks off with a divine appearance.
And it's the angel of the Lord who appears, interestingly, not to Manoah first, but directly to his wife.
Which must have been just wow,
Yeah.
given her situation and the message. You're going to conceive, you're going to have a son.
I mean, talk about a reversal. For her
Yeah.
personally, and as it turns out, potentially for the whole nation.
But it's not just the promise, is it? It's the immediate conditions, the rules.
Right. Straight away, very specific instructions attached to this child, and even for the mother, before he's even conceived. That tells you this isn't just any birth.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The divine decree, the Nazarite vow stuff.
So the angel tells the wife very clearly, no wine, no fermented drink, nothing unclean to eat.
And this is for her because of the child she's going to carry.
Exactly. The text emphasizes that. It's like the child's consecration is being set apart for God. It starts in utero. Her body is sort of the first vessel for this vow.
Wow. Okay. And then for the child himself, from birth.
He's to be a Nazarite,
Mm.
dedicated to God. And the main physical sign mentioned right here is the hair. No razor can touch his head, ever.
Now, a full Nazarite vow, like in number 6, involves more, right? Like avoiding grape products, not touching corpses.
Yeah, it does. But here in Judges 13, the focus for the child's lifelong vow is really on the hair and the dietary rules. They're explicitly placed on the mother, certainly during pregnancy, maybe even while nursing. It's a bit different.
Interesting distinction. And his purpose. Why this special child?
The angel is specific. He will begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines.
Begin. That word seems important.
Very. It suggests he's the catalyst, the start of something bigger. He won't finish the job himself. It manages expectations, maybe.
So the wife gets this just incredible news, then these detailed instructions. What's her first move?
She goes straight to her husband, Manoah.
Mm-hmm.
And her description of the visitor is fascinating. She says, a man of God.
Not immediately an angel.
No, man of God, but looking like an angel of God. Very awesome. She also mentions she didn't ask where he was from or his name, and he didn't volunteer it.
Suggests she was maybe a bit overwhelmed. Odd.
Probably. A sense of reverence, maybe fear. She
Yeah.
just relays the message. The son, her rules, his lifelong Nazarite status.
Okay, so Manoah hears this. What's his reaction? Doubt. Excitement.
Not doubt, interestingly. His first reaction is prayer, but a very specific prayer. He asks God to send the man of God back again.
Why? To confirm it.
Not just that, he explicitly asks, teach us how to bring up the boy. He's thinking about the practicalities, the responsibility of raising this unique child. He wants guidance.
That's quite practical, actually. Does God answer?
The text says clearly, God heard Manoah, which is significant in itself, right?
Yeah.
God responds to this request for, well, parenting advice, essentially.
So the angel comes back.
He does. But again, guess who he appears to first?
The wife. Well, she's alone.
You got it. She's out in the field. Manoah's not there. There
Mhm.
seems to be a pattern here.
And she fetches Manoah immediately this time.
Oh, yeah. Runs to get him. He's here, the man who appeared to me the other day. So Manoah goes with her, sees the figure, and confirms, is this the man you spoke with?
Right. So now Manoah gets his chance. What does he ask?
He follows up on his prayer. Okay, when your words come true, what's the rule for the boy's life, his work? What's he supposed to do? He's focused on the son's future role.
And what does the angel say? Does he give him a roadmap for Samson's life?
He doesn't, actually. It's quite striking. He redirects Manoah right back to the instructions for the wife.
Really? Back to
Like-
her?
Yeah. He basically says, your wife needs to do everything I told her. And then he repeats the list. No grapevine products, no wine or fermented drink, no unclean food.
He repeats it all.
All of it. With emphasis. She must do everything I commanded her. It really hammers home that her obedience, her adherence to these rules is foundational. That's the immediate divine priority, it seems. Setting the stage correctly through her.
That repetition really drives the point home. It's all about preparing the way through her. Okay, so after this clarification,
Well, Manoah, who the text points out, still doesn't realize this is the angel of the Lord.
still thinks he's a prophet or something.
Apparently. He offers hospitality. Hey, stick around. Let us cook up a young goat for you.
A normal host thing to do. How does the angel
He
respond?
declines the meal. But I says, look, if you want to prepare an offering, make it a burnt offering and offer it to the Lord.
Ah, pointing away from himself towards God.
Exactly. And before they do the offering, Manoah asks one more thing. He asks for the visitor's name.
Why? Just curiosity.
He says it's so they can honor him when the prophecy comes true. They want to give credit where it's due, essentially.
Makes sense. What does the angel say? Does he give a name?
This is a huge moment. He replies, "Why do you ask my name? It's beyond understanding." Some translations render that wonderful.
Beyond understanding. Wonderful. That sounds divine.
It's a massive clue, isn't it? A name that can't be grasped by human categories. It points directly to his nature. He's not just an angel, perhaps, but something more, or at least his identity is intentionally mysterious and awesome.
So Manoah doesn't get a name, but he gets this profound statement. What happens next? The sacrifice.
Yes, Manoah takes the goat and a grain offering, puts them on a rock, and sacrifices them to the Lord, just as the angel suggested.
And this is where things get really dramatic, right?
Oh, yeah. The text calls it an amazing thing. As the flames from the altar flared up towards the sky,
Yes.
the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame, went up with the fire.
Whoa. Not just disappeared, but went up in the sacrificial flame.
Exactly. A supernatural departure, directly linked to the offering made to God. That had to be the moment the penny dropped.
You'd think. What was their reaction? Manoah and his wife?
Instantaneously, they fall on their faces. Just complete awe, probably terror, too.
Mm-hmm.
And when the angel doesn't reappear, Manoah fully realizes it was the angel of the Lord.
And his conclusion from that realization.
Pure fear. He says to his wife, "We are doomed to die. We've seen God." Which is, a pretty common reaction in the Bible to direct divine encounters. That overwhelming holiness feels dangerous.
Understandable fear. But his wife, she responds differently, doesn't she?
She does. And it's remarkable. While her husband is panicking about imminent death, she's incredibly calm and logical. It's quite amazing.
What does she say? How does she counter his fear?
She reasons with him. She says, basically, look, if the Lord intended to kill us, would he have accepted our burnt offering and grain offering?
Good point.
Would he have shown us all these amazing things? Would he have just told us all this about the Son? Her logic is grounded in God's actions toward them in that very encounter.
That's brilliant. She's using the evidence of God's favor they just received to argue against the fear of his judgment.
Exactly. He accepted their gift. He revealed his plan. He showed them wonders. Her conclusion, a God who does all that isn't about to zap them. Her faith isn't just awe. It's reasoned understanding based on God's revealed character and actions. It really stands out against Manoah's immediate fear.
It really does. Shows a different kind of processing, a different kind of faith, maybe. So much wisdom there.
It's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And after that, well, the story moves to the fulfillment.
The birth.
Simple as that. The woman gives birth to a boy. They name him Samson.
And the text adds.
He grew, and the Lord blessed him.
Yeah.
Standard enough. But then there's one final crucial detail in this chapter.
The stirring.
Yes. The Spirit of the Lord began to stir him. And it happens in a specific place, Mahanadan, between Zorah and Eshtaol, his tribal area.
So this isn't just growing up. This is activation, the beginning of his power.
That's how it reads. It's the divine empowerment starting, getting him ready for that task he was born for to begin the deliverance. It's the bridge from the prophecy to the action.
So looking back at this whole chapter, Judges 13, it's just packed. Miraculous announcements, specific lifelong roles, starting with the mother, these multiple divine appearances, the mystery name, the fiery ascension, the contrasting reactions.
And finally, the birth and that first stirring of the Spirit. It's an incredibly detailed setup for one person's life.
It really makes you think, why all this detail? Why the Nazirite vow focus? Why the mother's role emphasized so much? How does this unique beginning shape the Samson we see later?
And what does that stirring of the Spirit actually look like as it starts? How does it foreshadow his later actions? It sets up so many questions.
And thinking about the end there, that contrast between Manoah's fear and his wife's calm reasoning. Her logic, if God meant to kill us, he wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. What does that tell you, the listener, about facing things that feel overwhelming or scary? Is faith just closing your eyes and trusting? Or is it also about looking at what God has done, how he has revealed himself, and reasoning from that character even when you're terrified? Something to really chew on.